Hey everybody, time for some math. Hope you all brought your abacus or your calculator or your stone tablet or whatever it is that you want to do math on. I try to do it on my brain, but it doesn't always work. Anyway, thanks for coming. I know there's a lot of other cool stuff going on. Streamers playing the video games and what have you. So it's cool that you're here with me in space. Also, if you weren't, you'd never find out what happened to Untitled Libre. I think they're gonna get blown up. Don't tell anybody. So keep in mind as we plunge our way through Spreadsheet Universe that y'all in chat are on a bit of a delay, so I won't notice if I mess something up. I was gonna swear there. You notice that? I had the F ready to go. I'm trying to tone down on the blue language. So anyway, let's get this thing started. I apologize for the crackliness of my voice. I've been pretty sick, and then also conventions, Gen Con and PAX and the whole thing. I've been out of my brain, lots to do, but I'm back. I think we're going to end up doing an episode of Swan Song fairly soon. I don't want to announce anything. That's kind of JP's jam, but I got a hankering for some space mastery, so hopefully that'll happen soon. And Steven and I have an episode of Being Everything Else all queued up and ready in our GM brains to let you know. So that'll be probably at the usual time. We'll announce all that stuff on Twitter. So yeah, let's get to it. I'm just doing one turn this week. The players are kind of like right at the end of the period, and I don't really want to jump too far ahead, because if I do, I feel like they're going to end up missing out on stuff. You know, I don't want to be like, oh, okay, Jeff, Mr. Sicarian, you find out that all the cool stuff that was happening on Onitsa is all over. Too bad. You're at the other end of the universe. Which, you know, it's fitting. I'm going to keep doing this regularly, and if they ignore this stuff, things will just pass on. But you know, I want to give them a chance to respond, and I have a feeling they're going to be out on planet wherever for a little while. You know, the scoops are busted, and they don't have any fuel, so they got to figure some stuff out. But you know, I'm going to take it slow. So this is just going to be a short one. We'll do a 50-minute hour episode. Figure out what's going on in the universe in May of the year 3200. So let's take a look at our faction turns. We have our good friends, the Andonian Cultural Protectorate, up at the top slot there, all the way down to our friends, the Zimenez Shipyards, who you'll remember last time. Well, hey, let's do a little review. So Andoni, their goal after the pre-game coup was to just make a bunch of money and have a peaceable kingdom, which looks to me like they're doing pretty good. They completed their goals. They got 1 experience. They're the second faction to receive some experience for what they did, and really they've got nobody bothering them. They're just kind of building up their own stuff. How long before the Andonian Cultural Protectorate becomes the Grand Andonian Space Empire? Who knows? So the Madari Syndicate, they're in bribe mode right now. So they've been accumulating money. They have Wealth of Nations, I think, or Wealth of Worlds, as their goal. So they're just making drugs, selling drugs, making drugs, selling drugs, moving their cyber ninjas around. So drugs everywhere, blue fever, all up in this piece. Majid, they had a little scuffle with the New Prophet. They kicked them out. They fixed their monopoly. They bought some freighters, and now their jam is to attack other enemies' cunning assets. So the thing here is that they're kind of fighting this shadow war with the New Prophet. The New Prophet hates them, and they've kind of kicked them off the planet. So we'll see if that escalates. I have some thoughts about where that might go. The New Prophet is pretty close in sector now. They're one of the nearest planets. They're on Strophios now. You remember last time they moved the Demagogue, all in secret, and they bought some blackmail. So they're like insinuating themselves into the government on Strophios, which I think will confirm some of the suspicions that Majid has. They can't see the Demagogue specifically, but they've got some idea that there's some stuff going on there. So we're going to see a little bit of tension between the two of them. Unita Libre, they were fighting the Royals. The Royals fought back. There was that whole skirmish over the Harvesters. Then Pfotenhauer showed up. There was some shooting. I think there's going to be a fight there, obviously. The Purity Initiative is going after the Royals. The Royals are going after Unita Libre. There's a lot of circular headbutting going on. So I'm really curious to see what that happens. Richardson Scientific, they haven't done anything for the last 2 turns. And I'm really, really tempted to just yank them out of the order because they're kind of just background stuff now. But if you guys are okay with me just hanging out and no actioning them again if they have nothing to do. I actually have something that I want them to do, but you know they're not going to be a big mover and shaker. They're kind of, there's this stalemate sort of thing going on with Richardson, Andoni, and Jimenez. So we'll see how that goes. The royal family, obviously, we talked about that a little bit. Sunbeam and Jimenez had some head biting. There was the snapping and the fighting and the lasers and the blockade fleet. And if you remember those pirates that Sunbeam sent that took forever to get here, literally like, what, 4 weeks, just got nuked. Totally wrecked by Jimenez, which was cool. Yeah, I really like that. So that was cool. And Jimenez, they fought back. I think that those two are going to escalate their fighting to the public. I think Jimenez, maybe they found some evidence that proves that Sunbeam sent the pirate fleet, and then they want to fight back. So I've got some ideas around that too. So let's see who we're going to start with for turn 5, and we'll play through it. So let me pop over to ye old Roll20. So let's roll. What do I need? A D11? Yeah. D11. Okay, so we got an 11, so that means that we're going to start with Sunbeam, who we were just talking about. So Sunbeam, and you'll remember if you were watching the last turn, I'm using this awesome fan-based or fan-created asset and faction tracker, this new spreadsheet. Super badass. Very cool. So what I'm going to do now is I kept forgetting last time to add their credits, so I'm going to try and remember to be on top of that the first time. So Sunbeam, they now have 26 credits, which is just like, whoa, massive amounts of money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy them another asset. They're going to spend some of those credits. So I'm going to go over, let's look at the asset tables. Their blockade fleet got blown up, but the thing is like, I think I want to escalate this to like a public battle. So maybe they're going to build a straight up like strike fleet, and they're going to say, you know what, it's war, it's corporate war, we're going to blow you up. So let's see, force assets. These guys, Sunbeam has a max force of 5. Max force 5. So they could build another blockade fleet. Yeah. They could build some psychic assassins, which, I mean, okay, everybody's going to be all like, yeah, buy psychic assassins, they're so cool, but it's not really Sunbeam style. They're cowboys, right? So, let me, you know what, I'm going to buy them a new strike fleet. Let's get a second strike fleet in Asa. So, that costs them 12 credits. So, I'll pop back over to the old asset tracker here. Actually, I'll write it down first so I don't forget. So, buy. Okay. Pretty straightforward there. Oh yeah, good point. So, you know what? I'm just going to add all the, I'll add all the money right now so I don't forget. Thanks, guys. Good call. Okay, so Sunbeam got theirs already. So, 11, 7, 6, 6, 9, 10, 10 plus 1. Is that how that works? What's my note here? Yeah, third party machine. Okay, so 11, 17, or 16, 19, 20, 20, and 5. Okay, everybody has money. There we go. Okay, so Psychic Assassins, they're so cool. Not gonna happen. Strike Fleet. Alright, so Strike Fleet costs, what did I say, 12? Strike Fleet costs 12. Super basic math here. 14. And they can only put them in one place because they don't have any bases anywhere else. So I'm going to go back to the asset tracker and we'll plop in Strike Fleets. Sunbeam. Strike Fleet. Bakhtiar, ASA 704. Boom. Done. Easy, right? Okay, so Sunbeam, what's going to happen, they're going to use, I mean, they've got ship generating engines on ASA. ASA's their home planet, right? So, yeah, so they're going to use some of their fat creds to build a new strike fleet. And maybe they're building the strike fleet specifically to be like, look, we're going after Ximenes. Maybe they want a hostile takeover. Okay, so they built themselves a new strike fleet. So Ximenes is next. So I want to just check Ximenes. These guys, I think I'm going to change the direction they're going in, because right now they've got this whole planetary seizure thing with Andoni, and it's not really doing anything for them. Andoni still has promised them something that they haven't delivered yet, and maybe we'll come back to that whole planetary seizure thing, but I want to give that conflict a little bit more spotlight time for the players if they go back to Andoni. I know that, you know, if you were watching the episode where Pi showed up, we kind of hinted that Victor's maybe got a serious reason to go back to the planet. So let's change their goal. So I'm going to actually take away their fat creds, because they don't do anything if they change their goal. We're going to switch planetary seizure, and we're going to say destroy the foe. So instead, I'm going to go in and insert the note here. So instead of, God, I hate, if you've ever used Google Docs, the adding notes thing is the most tedious crap. Okay, anyway, complaints aside. So they are going to destroy Sunbeam, Subbeam. So it's war now. So the destroy the foe, the difficulty, if I pop over to Foxit here, the difficulty for destroy the foe is equal to 1 plus the average of their ratings. So Sunbeam is 5, 11, 14. Let's see. Okay, this is me doing math now. It's like 4, 5, difficulties 4, 5, 5, right? Is this plus 1? I don't know. In about 30 seconds, someone's going to tell me my math is wrong. I'm going to put difficulty 4, no, 4, 8, this is, yeah, it's 4. Difficulty's 4. I don't know if you have to round down or whatever. I'm putting it. 4, 5, 4.6 to the infinity. Fuck it, I'm putting 5. One in the swear jar. All right, so they're going to publicly announce that their goal now is to, go after Sunbeam. They're like, look, these pirates came after us. We found Sunbeam documentation in their hard drives. Let's get them. It's 4 down, 5 up, plus 1. Yeah, whatever. I'm going to put 5. 5 is good. It's a big goal for them, but they're in vengeance mode, and maybe something will happen in the story, and Andoni will pay them, and they'll have a super weapon or something. Anyway, there's a reason that Ximenes is going to go after them above and beyond vengeance. I mean, you remember, Ximenes, they made Pi, right? Pi was on the pizza party, so who knows what's going to happen next? Maybe they have other bigger, better AI in their pocket, right? So Ximenes got some ships, they got some stuff going on. So I mean, we'll see how that goes. But for now, all they're going to do is Ximenes shipyards. They're going to change goal, destroy the foe, Sunbeam. Oops, seriously? There we go. So that should be interesting, you know, especially because Sunbeam is sort of peripherally connected to the players. They're connected via the last mission they do. Yeah, they're going to build some kind of ginormous Death Star. Some kind of ginormous AI-operated Death Star. Or maybe they won't. Maybe they're just going to be pissed off. So they're done. So let's jump up to the top. Andoni. Now, Andoni doesn't have a goal because they completed theirs. So I'm actually just going to give them the same goal again. I'm going to give them Peaceable Kingdom. This represents them continuing to, you know, to research and to build things. They're building the infrastructure of their country. But because they get that for free, I'm going to spend some of their fat creds, and let's secure that goal for them. Let's help them build up around that. So I want to buy them a force asset, someone to protect their planet. They've got 11 credits. They're going to buy post-tech infantry. So I'm gonna go change goal up here. So change goal, peaceable kingdom. And then also buy post-tech infantry. So this is like the ground forces. Right, so that's pretty cool, right? So they're starting to build up their thing. They've got all these harvesters. They want to protect them. They got an industry. Now they're going to make soldiers to protect them. So this is like an example of a sort of fascist government that is starting to really establish themselves as a power, you know, and no one's really fighting them. They build, yeah. Someone in chat just said we want to build infrastructure, buys military. So yeah, exactly. Oh, you got to protect your harvesters and stuff, right? So let's pop over to the asset tables and add them to the bottom. Oh, and I got to spend their money. So they had 11, so they have 3. They don't have to get permission for anyone because they are the planetary government. And I guess this counts towards their peaceable kingdom. So, not a comment, a note. So they've done 1 of 4. Difficulty is 1. So they get 1 experience in 4 turns. It's a really slow way for them to work their way up. But until someone messes with them, it's pretty much guaranteed 1 experience every 4 turns. And then keep building stuff. And like I said before, you know, you give people a military, you give them money, and then you wait and see how peaceful they want to be in a year. So the Andonian Culture Protectorate now owns, let's see here, post-tech. I guess I could just type it in, can't I? Post-tech infantry, and this infantry is on planet Andoni. Awesome. Okay. All right, so they got their jams sorted out there. They've got some guys. Obviously, in the news, people are going to be like, "Look, now they've got weapons and guns, and don't mess with them and try and blow up their peaceable planet." All right. So moving right along, I'm going to just reorganize this so we have everything sorted correctly. There we go. The next group is the Madari Syndicate, our shadowy criminals. I mean criminals. There's no sector law, so who cares, right? Their jam right now is to just get money and spend it. They want to keep selling drugs. They've got this new base on Frois. Really, until somebody starts messing with the Madari Syndicate, like the PCs are the only ones who care that there are drugs in the universe. I mean, the Purity Initiative don't want it on Oninsa, and maybe if they spread out, there's going to be some issue there. But for right now, like the drugs are working for Majid, right? There's some theories that the royal family is selling drugs to their people or giving drugs to their people to fight better. Like, it's... yeah. Drugs are bad, everybody, but not if you're the Madari Syndicate. So, I'm just going to operate their post-tech industry again, and then we'll spend some bribes. So let's see. Let me remind myself how post-tech works, because I don't have a good memory, and it's been a few weeks. Roll a d6. On a 1, they lose a cred. On a 2, they gain no profit. 3 to 5, they get 1. 6, they... okay, let's roll. D6. Bonk. Aw, 1. Okay, sorry guys, you lose money. So, bad batch. So 1 fat cred. Maybe a meth lab explodes. Blue fever lab explodes. Who knows? Remember too, yeah, also there's some note operating assets allow them to all, do all of the assets. They really don't have anything else on Vinaya to use. So they're going to lose that 1 fat cred. So let me pop back over here. Sorry, Majid, or sorry, Madari. So they went from 5 back down to 4. I'm actually just going to spend all of those. We'll put them back to 0, so they advance towards their goal. Spend 4 fat creds on bribes. Okay, so if I go back to the faction tracker, I can mention on there. If my comments will load, here we go. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. They're pretty close, actually. So that's cool. Madari, like, again, these guys don't have a lot of people interacting with them in a negative way, but I can definitely see the Purity Initiative. If they survive the Civil War on Oninsa, they're gonna butt heads for sure. It's just that right now the Purity Initiative is limited only to Oninsa and really only cares about that. Also, New Prophet, I mean, we don't know how they feel about Blue Fever and stuff, but I mean, we can find out. So Majid, now I got one here that I think you guys might enjoy. So Majid, in an effort to root out the location of the demagogue, they have someone that they're going to purchase a new stealth rooting out character. So I've already kind of made a decision on how I want to handle this one. So if we go over to Majid here, they've got 9 fat creds. Let me just double check my math on the asset tables. So they're going to buy a cunning asset. They're going to buy themselves a Seductress. I actually find the name of this asset to be really stupid, but I get what Kevin was going for when he wrote it. So it doesn't necessarily mean like a Jessica Rabbit type like character. It just means someone who can seduce information out of someone. So they're gonna hire a Seductress, and I'll fictionalize it like I usually do in the post. But let's go over to the asset tracker. Let's remove 4 from their cost. So factions, Majid goes down to 5. Bought Seductress on yeah, I mean they can only buy it in one place, right? They can buy it on Majid. So bought Seductress on Majid, and yeah, I'll fictionalize this. I got an idea for how this is gonna all play out. I know Majid has a plan for using this particular Seductress. Let's go over to the asset tracker and we will add them to our list. So the Mandarnate bought a Seductress, and it is on the planet Majid, which kind of makes sense. Majid is sort of a hive of scum and villainy, right? So we'll see how this character ends up. And I don't have a Seductress yet, so I'm going to go and pull the asset tags here. Because, as we all know, my memory is terrible, and there are a lot of rules in this game. So we'll go to notes. Seductresses and their male equivalents. Sex havers. Okay. Alright. So, alright, so Seductress, we bought that. I believe I have correctly managed all that stuff. Yeah, we reduced their asset monies down. And now we will move on to everybody's favorite. Yeah, Majid is totally Tatooine, but with more mining. All right, so the new prophet. We'll do these guys, then we'll do Oninsa. So the new prophet in response. Now you remember last time, like they have this new base that's within a few of Majid because they want to send people to Majid to mess with stuff. Now I want to save their money. They don't have enough money for what I actually want to do with them yet. So what I'm going to do instead is they're going to start some shit elsewhere. So back at the very beginning, remember we built these guys and we noticed that they had, I'd put, they've got some hands in Asa in the business of building the ships. They're kind of up in the unions there. So maybe in response to building the space fleet, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the Union toughs kind of attack on Asa. They're going to attack Sunbeam. Sunbeam and their brand new strike fleet. So what we're going to do is we're going to just double check that I've got everything in the right place. So New Prophet has Union toughs. They're a military unit, wealth versus force on Asa. Okay, so let's write it down. So attack Union toughs versus, now how we want these guys to defend themselves. I think it makes the most sense. Like, they're not going to defend themselves with their strike fleet. They'll defend with their post-tech industry. So we'll let the industry just see how the economy can take some of that headbutt action. So It's going to be, they're defending with their industry, which is, let's see, no attack. Yeah, counterattack of 1d4 if they miss. Okay, let me write down. Versus post-tech industry Sunbeam. Let's see what happens. So we're looking at wealth versus force. So new profit wealth and if I had a pen, I'd be writing this stuff down. New profit wealth is 5 plus force of 5. Okay, so it's just a d10 plus 5, d10 plus 5. Okay, yeah, wealth versus force. So 5 on 5. I'm right. Okay. So this is going to be roll a d10 plus 5. This is the attack. And roll a d10 plus 5 for the defend. Ooh, okay, so the defend works, and they get a counter of a d4. 3 damage. Okay, so Union Toughs, they fail, suffer 3 counter attack damage. So all I have to do now is just go find those Union Toughs and knock them down a peg. So there was a Union uprising, and then Asa came out with their corporate police and the batons and Grandpa Simpsoned them back to work. So let's take away their hit points. Your Union Toughs are now at 3 health. New profit. Just goes to show religion doesn't get you anywhere. Not in space, anyway. Not on Asa. Not against the Cowboys. Okay, cool. Awesome. So all that crap is out of the way. I love this. Right at the end, our last ones, aside from boring-ass Richardson Scientific. Time to figure out what happens on Oninsa. So Oninsa Libre gets to go first. So remember last time they got attacked by the royal family and by Pfotenhauer kind of at the same time. Now, what I want to do is, now Oninsa Libre, their goal is to knock out the royal family and to seize control of the planet, but if they just keep shooting at the royal family and the Pfotenhauer guys keep shooting at them, eventually Pfotenhauer will grind them down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Oninsa Libre counterattack. So they're going to attack Pfotenhauer with their post-tech infantry. Pfotenhauer defend with whatever they got. Militia unit? Question mark? Militia unit? Let's see. So Oninsa Libre. Oninsa Libre. Post-tech infantry. Force versus force. 1d8. And I think someone in this fight has a tag. Yeah, warlike. So they get to roll once per turn, add a d10 to their force. That's an interesting way of phrasing it. You know what? I'm going to double check this because I remember we had a big fucking spiel about this last time. So the tag reads, and we can all interpret this together as a group. So the tag for the faction reads, they're warlike. Once per turn, they can roll an additional d10 when making a force attack. So, I mean, when we talked about whether it's 2d10 and we add them together, or they roll an additional d10 and compare the two, I think that last time I was rolling 2d10 and they got the best result, it was like advantage. I'm going to keep doing that, because otherwise it seems way overpowered. So they have advantage. They're using their force, and they're fighting against the Pfotenhauer military unit, these militia, which are force as well. So Pfotenhauer force and Oninsa force. So it's going to be d10 plus 4 versus d10 plus 6, but one of them has advantage. So this is our advantage. Roll d10 plus, what did I say, 4? I can't remember the thing I said 2 seconds ago. Here we go, plus 4. So a 6 or an 8. Okay, 8, that's good. Okay, and then roll a d10 plus 6. Let's see how this fight goes. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so massive counterattack. Massive counterattack by the militia unit. Fail. Counter damage equals... Ah, boy. Poor Onitza Libre. You guys are just getting your ass kicked. Swear jar. So the counterattack on those guys is going to be d4 plus 1. 4 plus 1. 4 damage. 4. Okay. Alright, so it looks like Fate's Rangers are just mowing down these poor Onitza Libre. They're down now to... That's what I got, right? Alright, they're down to 4 of 12, so they might need to beat a hasty retreat. Now, they're down to 7 of 15 points for their base of influence, so their actual hit points is low. And then 4 of 12 for their infantry. So the infantry are getting pretty beat up. Now, it's in Pfotenhauer's advantage to press the attack now, because they want to start dealing straight damage to the base of influence. So that's a big deal, right? Now it's their turn, so I think they're just going to do exactly the same thing they did before. All the stuff's going to happen the same way, so they're going to counterattack, they're going to blast them, and then they're going to defend with their post-tick infantry. So let's see how it goes in the other direction. So this time, similar rolls. It's going to be d10 plus 6 for the attack. So roll d10 plus 6. Oh boy. Okay, so a d10 plus 4 for the defend. Okay, this might be the end of these infantry. They deal a d6 damage. So Fate's Rangers, 3 more damage. Wow, they're clinging to life. 1 hit point left. Shit is real on Onitza Libre. So success. What did I say? 3 damage? 3 damage. That's messy. Okay, so Onitza Libre is totally down. They're getting massively stepped on by these dudes, and this is exactly why I didn't want to jump ahead and do another turn. So you know this information is going to get back to Sicarian. Sicarian is going to learn. I mean, Mr. Falcon will probably directly call him and be like, look, man, things are rough out here. And that might encourage Sicarian to get the crew to come back and help fight, right? So this is the great thing about the faction turn, is that, yeah, okay, it defines what happens in the background, but the players are really capable of coming and turning things around. So they have a chance to impact all of this stuff. And plus, you know, if Onitza Libre does lose, if they get wiped out and the planet goes all crazy, the Swan Song will eventually become their own faction, right? So they'll be able to participate in this faction turn in a way that they couldn't before. So maybe they're going to come back, and it'll be a second attempt to free Onitza. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Onitza Libre yet has a single hit point. So, okay. Purity Initiative. Now, you remember last time, the Purity Initiative, they've started to attack the royal family for failing, and for dealing with foreigners. And I think they're going to push it. They're going to continue to get involved in the government, try and replace members of government, and take over. Right? They're going to attack the party machine. So let's do that again. I'm going to pull their successes here. Just double check my notes. I want to make sure that's what I had planned for them to do. Yep. Okay. So the Royals will defend with their party machine. So party. They are butting heads politically. So all this represents is just a lot of like getting the people of Onitza like really riled up. If the Purity Initiative seizes the government and the royal family and the Onitza Libre blow each other up, Purity will basically turn the planet into like their own kind of anti-Madari platform, which might be kind of cool, right? Because the Madari right now are just kind of doing their own thing. So let's see what happens. So party machine versus party machine, Purity versus the Royals. So the Purity, they've got a cunning and cunning 2d6. And the Royals have, yeah, they're going to defend with the same. Their machine only has 1 hit point. So if they lose, this is essentially, if they lose 1 hit point, this is basically, this represents the Purity Initiative seizing control of the government. And if they win, maybe they can make a deal with Untitled Libre and just call off the whole war. Who knows, right? Things are happening. It's a big deal. So let's see if they hit. So it's cunning versus cunning. So Purity Initiative is 4, and the Royal Family is 4, so it's an even roll. Let me just double check. Anybody Machiavellian? No, but the Purity Initiative can re-roll if they get a 1 on anything. So roll d10 plus, what did I say? 4. Okay, so this is the attack. Oh, all right, they get to re-roll. Oh, so much better. All right. Okay, so that means the Purity Initiative wins. So success. So even 1 damage will do it. Do you want me to roll? I'll roll. Rolling's fun. So they deal, what, 2d6 damage, I think, for these guys? 2d6 for the party machine. Yep. So 2d6 is 8 damage. Wow, massive overkill. Okay. So 8 damage, party machine destroyed. Okay, so now I gotta make some changes. So the Purity Initiative, their goal, I think, was to destroy cunning. Yeah, intelligence coup. Alright, so they've done it. They've destroyed that. That's another one. They're halfway to their goal. The Royal Family no longer has their party machine, so I'm gonna cut their extra funding. No more extra cred for you. Oops. I think I can just clear this. Yeah, clear notes. There we go. Okay, so they lose their funding. Royal Family is on the run. These guys are exiles. This is like the Tsar in Russia in the end of World War I. They're like, oh well, all of our people are getting blowed up. Yeah, wow. Okay, cool. So the party machine is destroyed. I'm going to cut it from the asset tracker. Goodbye, Royal Family. I love that the Royal Family and the Onitsa are both getting wrecked. Like, just wait until the planet is nothing but the Purity Initiative and the Photonhauer Society. Like, that's where this is going very quickly in my mind. Boom. See you later, party machine. So they've lost control of the government. That is a big deal. So Onitsa just went through a massive change. The May Revolution. Wow, cool. Okay. So Richardson Scientific, these guys, they're gonna buy some harvesters. I had that as sort of my plan for them. It's a nice continued advancement for them. They're gonna maybe work on some gas miners. Oh, so people are asking about who would contact Mr. Sicarian to get help. Yeah, Mr. Falcon, because Falcon and Sicarian are old buddies. They fought together on Onitsa. It was a tiny little like throwaway thing, but that's yeah, that's how that goes. Yeah, and actually someone pointed out that the Royals, they're gonna lose that 1 cred because it wasn't technically their turn yet. Their thing was destroyed. So anyway, Richardson, I'm gonna buy for them some stuff. So they've got 6 right now. So I'm gonna pop over to the tracker, or the table, sorry, and I'm gonna buy them harvesters. So I'm gonna do some gas harvesting. That only costs them 2, so that brings them down to 4. They get another turn for Peaceable Kingdom. That's 3 for them. And we will add them to the tracker. And then next turn they're gonna start operating them. Cool. Alright, so new gas mining operation on Bespin. I mean Gunhild. And it's not Gunhild C, it's not on the moon, it's actually on the planet, which they count as the same action. Okay, so that's great. That's cool. We got them sorted out. Nice and easy for them. So buy harvesters. They're just ripping along. And then the poor stepped on Royal Family, man. So these guys need fighters. They need they've got their royal family on the run. I think they're gonna buy like bodyguards, and they're gonna represent like the last samurai, the like Ronin with their leaders destroyed, right? So this is gonna be the elite skirmishers who are like, look, we have to get vengeance for the ousted royal family, and they're gonna just start attacking targets. They've basically gone into hiding, or kind of like wander Oninsa looking for targets. I think these would be really cool NPCs for the party to run into if they go to Oninsa, this band of renegade cyber samurai-esque like Bushido warriors. So this is going to be them. We're going to buy some elite skirmishers, provided they can still afford it. Faction tracker, royal family. Yeah, they got 10. They are fine. So let's double check how expensive they are. Elite skirmishers, they are 5. And that'll bring them down to 5. And they're still technically the planetary government. They're just in, yes, Roninsa. Nice. Yes, that is their new name. The planet Roninsa. 47 Roninsas. So they're going to, is there a word in Spanish for like wandering gunfighter? Like, I imagine there's some Wild West like term for that. Because basically we're really getting into like gaucho versus samurai territory here. on planet Roninsa. Okay, so let me go over and track this asset for the royal family. Royal family of Roninsa. They'll be like a clan, like a specific clan of dudes. Yeah, Desperado Ronin, Desperonin. So elite skirmishers. I love weird cultural mashups. I'm all about it. Get Sunbeam involved, it'll be this whole other thing. Okay, cool. So the royal family are now protected by this band of elite samurai dudes who are probably like taking them away to a secret location. Now they've been ousted from the proper government, and I guess they still control. I mean, they control the mercenaries, but really I think that Miss Fate and Fate's Rangers, they're on the planet just to kill people. They're just here to get cachet, to say we were involved in this war, and they're going to just keep fighting whoever they want to fight. Maybe the Ronin will get their attention, maybe not. Yeah, there'll be some pistolero, Swiss guard. I don't know. It's crazy. I love this planet. I want a t-shirt that just says like Onitsu Libre on it. Okay, cool. So they buy elite skirmishers, and then maybe next turn I'm going to maybe next turn I'll change their goal. But I think that's it. I think that's it. Look at that. Look at this. Timing, 45 minutes. Killing it. Okay, so I actually have some time. If you guys have some non-plot related, non-spoilery questions that you'd like to ask, you are welcome to do so, absolutely. I'll stick around for a few minutes and answer them. But again, keep in mind that things are a little delayed, so I may not be able to answer your questions right away. But feel free to ask them. I'll try to cover a few, and yeah, and we'll talk about this. Now, I know that there are some folks that were asking about whether the Neo France revolution is going to become a faction. That really depends. There's some very nebulous stuff going on there that I don't think that the PCs have really got their head around yet. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so let's see. I got some questions. So someone asked about the XP when it comes into play. So XP is used to buy additional like stuff for the faction, and nobody has enough yet to do anything. So that's pretty easy. So is all this stuff typical for DMing? No. I mean, I have. I don't know if you can see it. This is my little GM notebook. I use it to write notes for games. These are my Swan Song notes. But honestly, like I'm doing a lot of this for you know, for you guys, like I'm putting all this extra effort in and doing all the spreadsheets and stuff because it's so much fun to show them to you and to do all of this together because I love Math Squad and it's awesome. That. So let's see what else. Let's see. People looking for DMing advice. I have a whole show about that. Me and Steven, Victor Kovacs. Yeah, we've got a whole show that we do on his channel on Silent Zero Cyrus. You should definitely check that out if you're curious about GMing stuff. So let's see what else. Oh yeah, Neo France Restoration Movement, Planet Cabral. Yeah, I mentioned that one, so keep that in your head. There'll be some more stuff. There's some questions about getting Mr. S or the crew involved in what's happening on Oninsa. That's not my job. My job is just to play the world. If Mr. Sakarian comes back to Oninsa and it's a burning wasteland, it's his fault. You know, like the game is structured in a way that people can the crew gets their 1 or 2 missions they pick from, which I make up based on what happens in the faction turn, right? So like guaranteed there's going to be in the next mission set something about like protecting the royal family or helping smuggle them off the planet or something. There'll be this whole like Princess Anastasia like thing, which is super cool. I'm really excited about that. So I'll give them opportunities. You guys vote, right? But they can always just be like, forget it. I don't want to do the mission. Let's just go to Oninsa and screw around, right? Like, let's go do, because they all have their own goals, and the goals are worth just as much experience as the actual goals. They just need money, right? The missions give them money. Let's see. Is it possible to upload Pi into a robot body? Yes. Does Pi want a body? I don't know, man. If I was like a limitless computer intelligence, I probably wouldn't need like robot arms and robot legs. I would just be like, I can imagine it. I can absorb other people's memories through the memory net. There's all kinds of crazy shit going on. You hear me swear jarring all this time? Anyway, there's all kinds of other options. That is one of them. So something to keep in mind, but not necessarily something they really want to do. Lots of questions about the Seductress. Seductress, in this case, is just someone who's really good at getting information out of people. So this is a person or persons that Majid has hired or created to find out where the demagogue is. They want to root out the demagogue, and they want to murder that person, or at least make an example of them. So let's see. Anybody else got any more questions? When are we gonna get to see you as a player? That's not really up to me, right? Like I'm GMing this show. And I did a quick GM thing, the D&D one shot. I'd love to play. I'm running a lot of stuff right now, and I know there aren't a lot of openings. So if there was another show, I'd definitely, I'd ask to be a part of it. But these things come and go, and I'm really digging running Swan Song. It takes up a lot of my mental time. So yeah, so something to keep in mind there. Folks are asking about Griffin, our parrot. So Griffin is pretty much he's in standby mode now. We're kind of putting him to sleep, so I don't want to go and harass him and wake him up. But next time, maybe I'll start the show. Little bird action. He's kind of a jerk right now. He's just a little baby, so he would probably just make a lot of sound. So we'll see how it goes. So someone asked me how the party got to the current location with the Drive 1 ship. Let's pop over to the map. They were in Tovar. They got to Stavro. WTF. They have the 2 fuel tanks, essentially. So they drain one to get from Tovar to 609 or whatever, and drain the other fuel tank to get to Stavro. And normally, they're able to scoop up gas and then fly back. But their gas scoops are busted because of what a terrible job they did flying here. So what's really interesting to me is how they're gonna get away. Right? Like they're on this like really low tech level planet. everybody's freaking out about my phrasing. Putting him to sleep just means putting him in his cage when it's dark and turning off his little light, and he goes to bed. That's how he works. but anyway, you feel free to throw that into the audio mix where I also claim we're making drugs and blackmailing people and blowing things up. So yeah, I don't remember what I was talking about. But anyway, whatever the point I was making, I'm sure it was brilliant. Fan art, community stuff, question about how to add to the game. If you've been keeping an eye on the game from the beginning, I mean, look, we can look at the faction tracker and stuff right now. Like Purity Initiative, I didn't make that up. You guys did. NPCs, I'm not going to show you my NPC sheet because it's got some people you don't know about yet, but there's some NPCs on there that just came from posts. I mean, I grab stuff all the time from Reddit and throw it in, and you might not see it right away, but it comes up, right? It's a thing that I keep in mind, and you'll see more of that as the show goes on. Victor's ancient Chandalian skill will come in handy someday. I promise. I'm gonna hold it. It's gonna be like we're gonna be like Solemn. We'll be on like episode 400, and Victor will like finally someday be allowed to use his skill. Honestly, I just really like torturing Steven about his poor character creation choices. I'm kidding, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, it'll come in handy, but it's not really up to me necessarily to make that useful. That's just what type of game Stars Without Number is. Like, if he wants to use his ancient Chandalian, he can go to the planet where the Chandalians are. He can just tell me, like, I want to go there. What planet is it? Let's go and check that out. Yeah, so it'll come up as we go. So folks asking about Pi and the faction sheet. No, I mean, we'll see. Keep an eye on that action. Overall, I'm really liking Stars Without Number in general, like as a player and as a game. I've played before, a little longer than this. The campaign that I ran before was about 10 sessions, I think. Yeah, I'm really digging it, and the fan art and stuff is making it really fun. All of this stuff, the fact that you guys are coming to my my GM turn and checking it out, so into it. Like, it makes it way more fun. I'd be doing this myself anyway, so it's great to have an audience and to interface with you guys. So yeah, Stars Without Number, really fun for this kind of group. I wouldn't play it for a group that really likes being railroaded necessarily, or needs the GM to really like push them in a certain direction. I also don't really think it would work great for a very like story focused, and it's an asinine thing to say because story focus is every freaking RPG ever made. Every RPG made this a story-focused game. What I mean is that a single cohesive narrative, like, we develop this idea of the narrative together, where we know what's happening on Oninsa, and that's like a one story, and Sicarian's got his own little story. You got to think of it really more as interconnected stuff, like an old TV show. Like, every episode you get a little piece of everybody's story, and you string it together in your mind. That's how Stars Without Number works. Like, I really wouldn't see it working well to be like, okay, this is the story of you saving the galaxy from the terrible empire. Like, it's not really that kind of game. You'd have to bend it a lot to make it work that way. Folks asking about alien races, yeah, tune into the next episode. I mean, we've already seen evidence of their culture, right? Those massive termite hives with the smoke pouring out of them. The Vaad, I pronounce it with my human mouth instead of my mouth parts like an insectoid. The Vaad, they're going to be in the next episode for sure, whether directly or indirectly. So tune the F in. You're going to like it. Bug aliens. Yeah, so I mean, that's the GM turn. That Stars Without Number. Thanks so much for coming, everybody. I love you. I'm sorry I didn't make more mistakes and put you to work. But yeah, we're trying really hard to get everybody's schedule aligned. I know the folks are returning from cons. They're all pretty busy. I'm personally ready to roll, so if you want to see more of me, Friday we're going to have Being Everything Else. Follow me on Twitter, please. It validates my existence to have more followers. Yeah, follow me on Twitter. That's where I announce everything. Me and Steven are going to run another show on Friday. And hopefully this weekend, fingers crossed, I promise nothing, we'll have another episode of Swan Song for you. Yeah, so tune into that. There's also some rumblings, if you folks are curious to see me run some more Dungeon World, of another Dungeon World show with a totally different set of humans that I might be running somewhere in the next little bit. So follow me on Twitter. You'll find out more about that. So yeah, thanks again so much for coming. I'm gonna post the fictionalized version of all this action for those suckers who didn't show up, and then also for your gratification because I love you. Yeah, so check that action out, and we will see you, all of you beautiful humans, aliens, etc. See you around. Thanks for coming. Bye.